It's time for the 42nd episode. It's going to be a big one.
My name is Mac Laubscher.
All right, everybody. Happy Sunday. It is April 20th, and today is our 42nd episode of Do We Really Know Them? Today is exciting. We will have Mac on the show. He will be joining us here shortly. If you guys don't know Mac, let me just show you a clip over here of the show that he does. He does a fabulous show on Saturdays. It's a Saturday show that he does, and a lot of interesting people on it. Let me just show you a clip here from it, and so we can bring in our guest as he comes in. Okay, so that we just showed you a clip from the show that Mac does. I'll be bringing him in. He does a fabulous show on Saturdays, and we will ask him some questions. I see him in the back room. Let's bring him on right now. 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome to the program, Mac. How are you?
I am great. I'm great. How are you, Omar? Sorry about the technical challenges there. I don't know what's happening with the internet, but we are here finally.
Awesome. That always happens. So I started to go live already. I played a clip from your show. I showed them what you do a bit, and I did the intro. So normally I talk to you in the beginning, but I like it's 9 my time. Let's start it. So I'm glad you're here.
Well, I'm glad I'm here too, and it's so glad to be on live with you because we've known each other for quite some time, and it's been interesting to watch your journey.
Exactly. Awesome. And so the way I do my show is I actually put the questions on a slide here, and then I read them to you, and then we get to really know Mac.
Oh dear.
And I'm excited that you actually agreed to be on the show. We booked this months ago, and I know today's Easter for a lot of people. And so I'm excited to have you here on the show. And do we really know Mac?
Well, we're looking forward to seeing where this conversation goes and what kind of questions you have for me, my friend.
Let's start out with what is your background and what is your heritage? That are you South African? You're currently there, right?
I am currently in South Africa. I'm from South Africa originally. I was here. I got approached by a company back in 2001, 2002 to come out for a 2-year stint just to come and help them with their business out in the UK. What was supposed to be 2 years ends up being 23 years later, and I'm still in the UK. And now I'm out in sunny South Africa just to come and visit.
Okay, but you're originally from England, is that right?
I'm originally from South Africa.
You're originally from South Africa. I see. Awesome. We already have some people waiting in here. We have David. I'm not sure if you know David, but I've seen him around.
I know David very well.
From UK, it's let's keep being kind and eating a big bowl of gratitude, kindness, caring, and empathy. So these people were waiting right before you came in. They were in line. We opened the door and they came in there. So we also have Mariana. She's a wonderful friend. She does project management organization. They found me that I am a great host, and they brought me on to help them out. And they want me to do the game show Zuperly for them in May. So I'll be doing that for them.
Exciting stuff.
Exciting. And yeah, amazing. So she's a wonderful person in Europe. She's in Slovenia, I believe. And one more before we get to the questions, we have Amit. Hi, everyone.
Hey,
and
Amit. Good to see you.
Amazing host, Amit. Okay. All right. The question: share us your place of upbringing and whether you enjoyed it.
So yeah, I mean, I grew up in South Africa. For the first like 10, 11 years, I was in a little place called the Klein Karoo, or the Small Karoo, which is kind of like a desert-like area of South Africa, where I lived in a very small town, and I played barefoot rugby, which I wouldn't suggest these days, but we played on a field that had very sparse grass, and you almost always stubbed your toe when you played rugby, and came out with all kinds of interesting cuts and bruises, but it was good fun, and I loved it. I started playing rugby at 4 years old.
Wow.
And South Africa is a beautiful place to visit. The food is amazing. The people are amazing. Yes, it's got its problems like every other country. But as a tourist, some of the best places I've taken my children out the last couple of weeks. We went to go and see African penguins and ostriches yesterday. So my daughter's got to experience ostriches. And anyway, there will be some interesting videos coming. And all kinds of other things. So yeah, no, love South Africa. Where if you go and do like what do they call it, phys ed or personal education, like physical education at school, you go into a hall, you do all kinds of weird exercises and push-ups and pull-ups. Yeah. Over here, you see a teacher rock up on the beach with 10, 15 kids behind them, and they've all got their bodyboards and surfboards, and off they go. So it's a different quality of life. It's incredible.
That's a real life. That's how a school should be. I definitely on my bucket list to come to South Africa. We'll talk about that more. But I saw a video recently, I think on social media, where there's a principal walking in, high-fiving all the students there and having fun with them. And that's how school should be. How you mentioned that, okay, we'll have our math class for 30 minutes, and then the next 30 minutes, why don't we go out and surf? That's
exactly. Exactly.
I want to say hello to Tom. Exactly.
Hey, Tom.
One friend of yours, huh? Awesome. Okay, let's go on to the next question here. Okay. Oh, my favorite type of fruit and why? What type of fruit do you like?
Oh.
And also, before that, does South Africa have their own unique fruits? Talk about that too.
Yeah, so interestingly, one of the things that they have is the prickly pear. So if you've ever watched the Jungle Book movie, and Baloo the bear talks about the prickly pear.
Love it.
And you get this in the US, in the desert as well, I'm sure, from a cactus plant. And they are incredible, but quite a bit to navigate around all the prickly little thorns and things that they have. But once you get inside, it is just, incredible fruit. And South African guavas are amazing as well. So for me, those are two of the really cool fruits that I really enjoy.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Are they? What's the taste? is it sweet or sour for those? I know.
So it's sweetish, but it doesn't have. It's not overwhelmingly sweet, but it's refreshing, and it kind of clears the palate as well. So it's really nice, and it's also got a lot more nutrients and things than say an orange or other citrus fruit tend to have.
Love it. Awesome. And Jane is here. Wow. Aloha, Mac. Jane is wonderful. She was on Zoom.
Hey, Jane. 2 days in a row. Good to see you.
That's awesome. As a white male, she has a question for you. How do you use your privilege to support BIPOC communities?
Ooh, this is an interesting one. So, I don't know if it was I think it was a privilege for me in the sense of, I grew up in apartheid South Africa, right in the beginning. Yeah. And I was lucky enough to be at an age where I didn't see race or color, and my friends were from all walks of life. But then to experience, South Africa changing to become more inclusive has been an interesting journey. But as a lot of people that do know me, when it comes to, I'm quite an inquisitive person. I love finding out about other people's religion and traditions and cultures, and it's our differences that make it exciting and interesting to get to know. And I support. Say that again.
I'm the same too. I like that. Yeah.
it's so important because, unfortunately, I've grown up watching a lot of people, because we all come from a background of experience of some form that is formulated either by the schooling we go to, or our parents, or the people we spend our time with. And just because that's the framework we've grown up with doesn't necessarily mean it's right, number one. And number two is I find a lot of people fear things that are different to them. And one of my clients, but also an international speaker, wrote this incredible book about why can't people be more like me? Because that's the framework. Like, if somebody does something different to you, you see them as strange or weird, because it's like, why do you do it like that when I do it like this? And for me, that's the exciting part. It's like, why do you do that so differently? Like, how come? Like, what's the story behind it? Like, I want to learn. Yeah. So I've got involved with a lot of different organizations, and currently, one of the organizations I'll start speaking about a little bit more is the San people based in Namibia, which are an African tribe that have been around for 2,000 years, that are really trying to keep its roots and its culture. But because of Western influence as well as Eastern influence, people are wanting to have them assimilate, in other words, make them more like them, as opposed to letting them just be who they are and express themselves. So, it's one of the organizations and charities that I'll be doing a lot of work with, purely just to educate people about how these people who live with loincloths in the middle of the desert are some of the happiest people in the world. Yet they have, from a materialistic perspective, almost nothing. So, again, a different frame of mind. So I'm always looking at, whether it be a minority group, or, like I do a lot of work with neurodiversity. I do a lot of work with various mental health things. So for me, it's about, finding individuals and the magic in those people and letting the rest of the world know about that.
Amazing.
And I don't think we should take for granted where we come from and the benefits and the advantages we've had. But at the same time, where we can, we need to lift others up. That's what the world's about.
I agree with you. Those are some good points. I mean, even from the first time I met with you, I knew you were doing a lot of special things with your program as well. So you're amazing. I'd like to say hello to Harvey Tuck. He was on this program before a couple of months.
Hey, Harvey.
Harvey's wonderful, and he does a good program as well. I think on Tuesdays and Thursdays, the franchise show. So he's wonderful. Check out his. And he also had a birthday too. So happy birthday to you, Harvey. I mentioned him the other day that he had a birthday. Wonderful guy. He's in the UK. So awesome. And then we also have Suhet, I think. I don't know if I mispronounced it. Is it Sushet? Okay, it's a nice name. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Awesome. And then I forgot to mention that she mentioned prickly pears are high in antioxidants. That's true. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, if I were to be turned into a cartoon, I would be kind of an opposite one. I don't know how long you've watched cartoons.
I don't know. I think probably I'd like to say the Tasmanian Devil, because he just gets all over the place and does things so fast, because my energy levels aren't always that high. So I'm like, I'd love to have that kind of energy level. Yeah. Oh man. I don't know, maybe a bit of SpongeBob.
Wanted to throw out something there. And then hello to Rachel. Hello there. Where are you joining us from? Is she a friend of yours? Best people are here. Awesome.
Oh, Rachel Sheffer. Yes, good to see you, Rachel.
Awesome. Where is she at? Do you know? She's okay.
Rachel, if I'm correct, Rachel's in the US, but I'm
okay. Go ahead.
I'm not 100% sure.
Awesome. All right. Ahmed says happy birthday to Harvey. We're starting a trend here. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Okay. My favorite subject in grade school was, were you a good student, Mac?
Let's
go back to memory lane.
I tell you what, you're bringing back some bad memories. No, I loved school. I loved biology and understanding animals and birds and I now, for those that don't know me, I have 11 fish tanks at home, and I'm traveling, so I've had to have a friend of ours look after my fish tanks. But I love nature and animals. And then strangely enough, at the end of my schooling career, I went into doing some what do you call it? Carpentry classes and doing woodwork and that kind of thing. So I love doing things with my hands, although I don't do a lot of that at the moment, but I want to get back into that. So yeah, I loved school more for networking and socializing.
Yeah.
And sport.
That's awesome. That's amazing. But woodworking, I did take a class in woodworking, and that was kind of fun. The teacher was a drill sergeant before, and then he stopped and then went and became a teacher. And so he was very tough, really. I can never forget him. Thomas Day was his name. And then he drove by one time in a car. I see a pink car coming by, and it's him. He had a pink Porsche car, and I was like, "Wow, that's him."
Interesting. You just never know what people are up to, man.
When I got to know him on the closer level, he became friends. I mean, but in the class, he was very tough. You took out your glasses for protection from the wood. He would yell at you as if it's not tomorrow. He would be like, oh. And so I had an incident of that. And then when we got to know him, he became my friend. And we were like buddies and buddies. All that. But yeah, you gotta. It's interesting.
Well, it looks like he had the pupils' minds and safety at the focus of his attention, which is great.
Exactly. Awesome. Let me get to my question, and we'll get to James' question here, and we get to one more here. And okay, what is the most distinctive sight one can experience in South Africa? I know you mentioned a little bit about penguins and stuff like that, but if I would travel, where would you take them? The most unique, or give us 2 or 3 maybe.
So there's loads, but the iconic Table Mountain it's like a landmark that also becomes your compass wherever you are in the Western Cape. So wherever you drive, depending on the view of the mountain, you know which side of Cape Town you're on. And it's just this flat, iconic view. I'll share some. I think I did a post about 3-4 weeks ago about the mountain, but Table Mountain is iconic. There's a place called Noorderhoek, which has got a little place called Monkey Valley, which has just got one of the most incredible long white beaches, like silky sand. People go ride their horses along there. It's just absolutely breathtaking. And there's so many beaches. There's we went to a place called Mirandal yesterday, which is out in the more inside country, but it's rolling hills of all the wine farms here. It is just incredible. So there's a little bit of something for everybody, whether you're like an extreme sports person, you want to go shark cage diving, you want to go surfing, windsurfing, kite surfing, it's all here. But if you like something a little bit more relaxed, there's lots of incredible like places you can go to for little coffee shops and different food things. And so if you're a foodie, it's also an incredible place. So there's so much to do here. Amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the nice thing too about South Africa, you have the water, you have all those stuff, and definitely I love to go there. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but in October, I traveled to several countries. I went to Turkey, I went to Bosnia, and I went to England, and I met Matt as well. So in October, I did like a 3-week trip, and I posted about it. And I went in to do a solo trip. I turned 40, and so I traveled the world, and I saw like many friends and connections from online, and I met new people. It was great.
Amazing. What did you think of Turkey? Because that is just gorgeous.
Oh, it was amazing. I had a friend who hosted me who was in Phoenix area. And so, and he showed me around a few things, and I went to another friend that I saw on the other side, and it was amazing. You never enough time, in America, they give you 3-4 weeks PTO. I maxed out all my PTO, and now I have like a week now filled. And I was like, man, I need to find a job where I can travel.
Absolutely. That's why I love what I do, because I can work from anywhere. So I used to be
That's
stuck
amazing.
to having to be in the office and all that kind of stuff. And I had to change my environment so that I could literally just go and work from anywhere. So if you're in New York in July, I'll be there.
Okay. Yes, actually, I met one of your friends too, and he invited me. Joel, actually, he's a nice guy. I had
That's
met
it.
with him actually a week ago. So awesome. So many questions to go, so little time. But I actually reserved an hour today for you. Normally the show is 30 minutes, but Mac, Mac, he's a wonderful person, and he does a lot of good for people. And I said, let's make an hour. Look at all these wonderful people who are actually watching you and complain. Let's go to Jane's question here. What does self-care routine look like for you and the best version of yourself? Let's go now. It's a deep question.
That's a great question. For me, self-care is quite a big subject, because it's not just that what skincare routine you have, or it starts from the moment you wake up. That mindset that you wake up with, that opportunity to have a little bit of quiet before you get going with your day, just to let yourself kind of breathe and appreciate the fact you've woken up, for another day. That we have this opportunity, that life has been given to you for another day. So for me, that's extremely important. Music is a big part of that. Just listening to positive music. I've got several different playlists depending on what kind of mood I'm in. Putting the right things into your body. I've over the years, I've not always been great with that, and now I'm a lot more focused on how I look after myself, and try and avoid the coffee as the first thing, because that used to be my drag myself out of bed, get that caffeine injection. But I try and avoid that now. Start the day with some with some good water, and the mental health for me is the big thing. If you can get the spark started in the morning with the right mindset, then you're off to a good start. But the nice thing is, even if you're having a bad day, you can do a reset at any point. So self-care is something a lot of people see as wishy-washy, but you can't pour from an empty cup. So you got to start with yourself.
Amazing. That's awesome. Like I said, there's so many comments here too. As I show the comments, go ahead and tell us about your one destination that you yet to visit, anywhere in the world, even if you want to go outer space. Where would you like to go? Well, you haven't been. I know you're a world traveler.
So there's still so many places I'd love to go and see. The Grand Canyon, I'd love to go and see that. There's places in Italy. Even though I've been to Italy, there's lots of little places that I want to go and see. I want to go and see Greece. The Philippines, I do a lot of work with people out there, but I haven't had a chance to go out there. I've got friends out in Bali that I want to go and see Bali. I've got a few places that I would love to. I think I've clearly not read the question properly, because it did say one and I gave you a few.
That's okay. That's more. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, the world is so large and huge, so little time, and we need to spend more time. I love the idea that you have that remote job, and that's what I'm trying to get into. But you can go see the world, meet new people, experience things like you mentioned before. People watch the news and all this, and then that distances them and all that. But when you go and actually meet the actual people, it's a lot different. Yeah, that's amazing. So, okay, we have Jane saying here, happiest to Harvey, happy birthday to him. We also have feel like making a trip already.
Amazing.
We also have Miriam. Good evening, all. Where are you joining us from? I appreciate you. We also have Martha. Okay, not your Martha, but we have another Martha here. But we're gonna have some surprises here coming up pretty soon, Mac. Okay. What distinguishes LinkedIn from other platforms here? So, what is it unique?
So many different things. I think there's an expectancy for people to be a bit more professional on LinkedIn, and the reality of LinkedIn is it's shifted so much over the last 4 or 5 years, and it's become the one thing I like about LinkedIn is the fact that even places like Google look at LinkedIn as the most credible source of information when it comes to search results. So if you go and search your name in Google, LinkedIn's going to come up on page 1. So whatever your first impression is on LinkedIn, just be aware it's either going to be a good or a bad one. So make sure that your LinkedIn is up to date and telling people what you do and who you serve today. So for me, that's the big thing.
That's amazing. Yeah, I want to show you a clip of one of the person who was on my show before, and tell me what you think. And homelessness and other means, and that's the main thing. Definitely why we want to do this, to help people out, bring happiness to people, and just it's a good effort. That's definitely good question. And I think this is the first time somebody, I guess, asked me a question, or the second time, which is all right. Martha, so what a great person. How did you guys actually get together and be on that Saturday show? Who inspired you to do that show? You could get off there for a second. Okay, can you hear me? Or
yeah, I think we.
Okay.
Yeah, it started playing and then
connection
it all disappeared.
Okay, so I was gonna say also, somebody thinks it's your birthday here. Is it your birthday?
Oh, it was a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really? Okay. When was your birthday? Happy birthday to you.
It's a month ago now. I just realized it's the 20th. It's my dad's birthday today, although he's passed on, but it is his birthday.
So I mentioned Harvey's birthday, and maybe people got on. It's your birthday.
I think so. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
but
tell
Martha,
us
thank
about,
you for next year.
Yeah, tell us about how you guys did the Saturday thing. And before you do that, I have a surprise for you. We have somebody here who decided to join us all of a sudden.
Yay!
she was on for Martha. Welcome on this Easter Sunday.
In the background, Martha.
Joining us. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a bunny today. I said, yes, I'm going to start my morning today with Jack and Omar.
I was going to bring the whole Saturday crew that you guys do, but a few of them, Joel might show up and other people, but Martha was good enough. So she's the top there.
Absolutely.
Tell us how you guys started the Saturday show, both of you, and what brought that together. How did you guys meet?
Oh, how did we meet? Actually, I believe Martha came into one of my Clubhouse rooms, like way before we even started the Social Saturday on LinkedIn, when I was still doing a LinkedIn room on Clubhouse and various other bits. But yeah, Social Saturday basically came about because LinkedIn said, hey, we're going to roll out this audio feature. And I was like, hey, well, we might as well jump on the bandwagon while it's on beta phase and just give it a go. And yeah, we ran the first one. Various people came and jumped in as guests. And then people like Martha, who just like grabbed people's attention and their hearts. I was just like, hey, you got to get in as part of the crew, come and join me on stage. And I think it was just before she was about to run her own first one. And then she went like viral, took over the world, and now she's influencing everybody and changing the world and doing incredible things.
I have to say, people who smile, they always take over the world. Those are the ones who take over the world, not the other people who have the weapon. So, Martha, we didn't hear from you. Thank you for being on the program again.
Yeah. Well, this is such a treat just to be here with you guys, celebrating Mac, getting to know Mac. I've gotten to know Mac in the last couple, oh my gosh, I don't even know, going on 2 years, actually. It went by really fast. And so much growth that's come out just from attending Social Saturday chat. Literally, like what a difference it's made in my life. And overall, just some really like lifelong friendships. So I'm just grateful for you, Mac. Everything that you do, from humanitarian to our friendship, to all the love and support that you do here on this platform and even outside the platform that many of us don't know. We sincerely appreciate you and just universe love your way.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. But the world is just incredible when I've got people around me like Martha and Omar and all these wonderful people.
Amazing, amazing. How did you guys start the Saturday? That was about 2 years ago. That Saturday shows that you do. How did you guys? Whose idea was it?
Well, it's more than that, I believe. Right, Mac? How many years has it been?
June will be 3 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Whose idea was it? Was it your idea or Martha's idea?
Mac, the man.
Yeah, it was it was just an impulsive thing to see where a conversation will lead, and we started with one Saturday, and at the time there was her name has gone out of my head now. Lady was doing Social Saturday, just like shout outs on posts, and I thought there's a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon for this to grow their network, but they don't know then like what. Now you've got all these connections, but you don't know any of them because you've just connected to a lot of people. And I thought, you know what, let's start a conversation so people can connect on a higher level. And that's where Social Saturday Chat came from. It was about getting people to not only just connect, but build relationships.
Amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people in 2023 and 2024, they got more on it. That's when I actually started doing the shows and all that. And I saw Donald Cohen, he did the show, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I've always wanted to do this. And then look at us now. We're all connected from all around the world. And maybe I'll be in South Africa soon. Who knows? We meet all these wonderful people and that like Matt Allen and all that. So how about this question? If I were to create a product or a concept to benefit humanity, what would it be? Everybody gets this question. Martha, do you remember your answer to this one?
That is an interesting one. A product or a concept. I think for me, if we could provide a product or a concept for individuals to be able to take a moment in life to put themselves in somebody else's shoes and experience it from their perspective, and then allow them to have a conversation, the world would be a different place. Because the biggest challenge we have, wars are started because of miscommunication or people's, understanding of what other people are or how they function. And for me, if people could just realize that before they judge, they don't know what's happened in the other person's life. They don't know what they've been through, what contributes to their way of thinking. That if they could just have a moment where we could almost teleport into their shoes for a few minutes, just so they can see things through that person's lens, the world would be a totally different place.
I agree. Amazing. That's so amazing. Martha, your thoughts?
I love that so much. Humanitarian, I mean, all the way. I do have a silly question that I've been so antsy.
Question, then we'll go to Dean's question. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So I heard you say you have fishes back.
Yeah, I have a lot of.
Yeah, fish?
I have a lot. Yeah.
I didn't know that. So what would your little fishes say about you? What's something you think they would say? Because they observe, they're viewing you.
Sure.
So what do you think they would say?
I think they would say they have a very great life because they have a better diet than I do. I spend more time fussing over them. I adopt other people's fish when people go, I bought this fish for my child. They don't want to look after it anymore. What do I do? And I'm like, bring it over. I'll look after it. And they thrive. They would just really like their diet and probably be a bit upset that I'm not there at the moment because they've gone onto like a very strict diet while I'm away. And then when I get back, then they get all the little treats and everything else as well. So
Mac, do they have names also? You want to do a shout out for your fish?
I have too many fish to have names.
Go ahead. Name them all. Name them all, Mac. Every single fish that you've had in your.
We would be here for several days because I have 11 tanks and two of the tanks I could physically climb into because they're that big.
Wow, that's amazing.
And just that tank must have 400 or 500 different types of fish in there. So
that's amazing. Can you name at least a couple of them? Do you have names for them or no?
Well, types of fish. I've got
Types.
types of fish, not names though.
No names. You don't name fish. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Give us types. That's good.
Well, I've got everything from blue shrimp to red shrimp to plecostomuses, catfish.
Wait. A shrimp is a fish.
Say that again.
A
Shrimp
a
is
fish?
part of the tropical fish.
Oh, okay.
as well.
Interesting.
But they're not big enough to eat, so don't even ask me. They're not that. You'd have to eat 1,000 of them before you get nourished in any way because they're that small. But yeah, I've got plecostomuses. I've got bristlenose catfish. I've got mollies, swordtails,
Wow.
gouramis. You name it. I've got so many.
That's amazing. Wow.
That is amazing, Mac. I had no idea you loved fish so much.
Well, I used the excuse of getting my daughters a little fish tank a few years ago because I used to breed fish when I was much younger. And that started off with like a 10-liter tank. And then I got a 25-liter, and then I got a 400-liter, and then I got a 500-liter. Yeah. Anyway, it got out of control.
Oh.
So, can you notice if you
Wow.
lost a fish? Have you ever noticed if you lost one of your fish or no?
Oh,
You can tell.
all the time. I get distraught if I lose one. It freaks me out.
You can tell.
Uh,
You can tell if you lost a fish. You can tell. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, let's go to Jane's question here. What would you say to your younger self?
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's actually quite an easy one because people are always striving and trying to look at somebody else and see, I want to be like that, or I want to do this, or want to instead of just looking at where they are. And I think for my younger self, I would say, stop worrying about what everybody else thinks and just get on with what you love to do.
Amazing. That's amazing. Awesome. And then we're about to end the show here. Your closing thoughts here. I want to thank you, Mac, and also Martha for joining us on Easter as well. Tell us, thank you for being on the program, Mac. Your closing thoughts for humanity and what else they want to know about you.
Closing thoughts for humanity. That's quite a big statement.
Yeah. Because everybody's going to be watching this now and later. And so
No pressure.
part of the show is for legacy and for people to know and get impacted. So what do you want people to know in the year 2035?
In the year 2035, I think, the one thing I'd love people to do is just be a little bit more inquisitive in life. Take time to get to know people around you. If anybody comes within 3 foot, just say hello and see where that conversation goes. And don't judge. It's so easy to judge. I've judged people in the past that I've kind of gone, no, well, because they said this or because, and I didn't understand the context. And then all of a sudden I get to know them like a year later and somebody says, oh, did you know they do this, this, and this? And I'm like, so they're interested in the same things as me? I'm like, really? And then then I kick myself because I didn't get to know them earlier. And life passes us by so fast. And, if each one of us, even with our preconditioned mindsets, could just, let go of the rules that we've set based on what we've learned from others, these rules aren't really that they just constructs that other people have imposed on us. And if we allow ourselves to have a bit more freedom, a bit more inquisitiveness, you may have the most incredible relationships with people that are already right there in your circle that today you probably discount because you just go, well, they're different, or they're from a different culture, or they speak a different language. And if you take a few minutes just to get to know people, be like a sponge, just ask questions, and life will be a lot more interesting and exciting for you too. So
amazing. There's another guest in the waiting room here who actually likes you, and he's also going to join us on the here. So somehow they come in, they find out that you're live on the show, and then they just want to hop on. So let me go ahead and bring this gentleman on. And Martha, is that your sister there who just wrote there? I think she's your sister. Another Martha. Okay, let's bring him on. Okay.
Joel! How you doing, buddy?
Welcome, Joel. Welcome to the program. I just met you like a week ago almost, I think.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. I'm glad you were able to attend the program. We're getting to know Mac here. Do you have any questions for him?
I've known him for 3 years so far.
What is something we don't know about Mac? Some secret thing that we don't know about him.
Joel doesn't have a filter. That's not fair.
I'll put you on the spot, right? Only 100 people watching, 120 people watching.
No, if I want to keep my relationship, I better not. So. If I want to keep my friendship, I better not.
If you want to keep your relationship with him good, you want to keep quiet. Nothing at all. Nothing.
No, there are plenty of things, but none of which are.
How about you tell us what would you? How are the programs that you do with him on Saturdays? How are they like? How did you guys meet, and how are those programs on Saturday like? The relationship together in terms of doing that program.
Well, we met through LinkedIn, ironically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we met through a mutual connection. I'm not quite sure how it happened. I just posted, and then one of his connections commented, and then the rest is history.
That's how it always happens. Mac, are you speechless? Give us some words.
I was just blown away. I mean, this is. I was expecting this little, quiet little conversation, 15, 20 minutes, you said. And then Martha jumps on and Joel jumps on. And
wait.
Such amazing.
Felipe, are you there? Felipe, can you come? He's not. Let's bring him up.
But Omar, I just love the conversations you have, and just watching how you've grown since I've met you. Because I remember the first time we spoke, and you were telling me about the Zoom party, and then we jumped on a Zoom, and you were telling me about this mad thing you were doing with kids, and then you were there having adults jump on, and this is what I love seeing is people just blossoming and making a difference in the world, and having great conversations. So if we can do it, anybody can jump on a call and start having decent conversations. But don't be afraid to connect with people. Omar, so pleased I've been on here. Thank you so much.
Awesome. We're gonna end the soon here, but basically my idea is like you said, being curious. That's what I'm about, knowing people. And when I was younger, I always used to say, why this, why that, and my grandma called me why, because I was so curious. Why is the sky blue? Why are this? And so she's like, we're going to start calling you why from now on, because I was asking so many questions, And so that's the thing. I like to bring people together. I like to network. And, that's how we are. We're social people. I've always been like this. And I appreciate all three of you to being on this program. We're going to be back for another show in 2 weeks for another guest, surprise guest. We don't know who that is. It could be Joel. It could be Martha. It could be Mac. Or it could be somebody else. We never know. We'll find out who it's going to be on the 43rd episode, and when we get to 100, we're going to do a big surprise hopefully soon. And thank you guys again. Any last minute words from all of you? Martha, start with you.
Happy Easter or Sunday fun day to everyone. And Mac, salute. You are the man.
And Joel, we'll go to you. Last minute words for you. Thank you for joining us.
Happy Easter, and hope you will have a great week. No, awesome. It's Mac's show, so I should shut up.
And then we'll end it with Mac, because last minute words.
Hey, well, happy Easter, Passover, whatever you're celebrating this weekend. Make sure you spend some quality time with those around you, and just be blessed. Thank you so much for sharing this time with us. And Omar, you are a gem, my friend. You're an incredible man. Thank you so much for making this happen, and look forward to many more conversations.
Awesome. I look forward to